very similar to the quarterback. To me, I feel like these two kids are clearly the best two in the conference. So at number 2, I've got Bijan Robinson for Texas. Very similar to Zach Evans, in terms of how productive he was. I mean, when you look at 8.2 yards per carry, again, he's a kid that didn't play a lot early, got a lot more snaps later in the season, and was incredibly productive for Texas, over 700 yards rushing. And as you mentioned when we were talking about Roschon Johnson, it'll be interesting to see how they use both of those kids. You would expect Robinson to get the bulk of the carries for Texas. It reminded me a little bit, Mark, and it's kind of interesting that this happened again at Texas. And again, I'm going back years ago, 2001. Cedric Benson. Cedric Benson was a true freshman at Texas, did not play hardly at all early on in the season. After Oklahoma beat Texas 14-3, didn't get a lot of carries in that game. He became kind of the featured back for Texas later on in the year, and then certainly had a really good career for Texas going forward. I see the same thing for Robinson. Really good running back, great vision. He's got the size, got the strength. Catches the ball pretty well out of the backfield, as you have here, almost 200 yards receiving a year ago. So, I think Robinson is a guy that can be a 1,500, 1,600 rushing yard kid for Texas next year.
Yeah, Bijan Robinson's a guy that had all the big programs after him. He was a top 3 running back in the nation. And I know that he took quite the spill. I think it was the opener against UTEP. If you check out the video, it's just, wow, he was just dumped on his head and really struggled with that injury for a couple weeks. That kind of slowed him down. It didn't necessarily take him off the field, but I know Tom Herman wanted to be extra cautious. And then once he got healthy and got into gear, my goodness, he got rolling here. I was going to pull up the game by game numbers, but you see it right there, 8 yards per carry in all conference games. So it's not like he's, hitting up a couple FCS non-conference games for, 18 yards per carry to puff up the stats. He didn't carry much against UTEP, Texas Tech, and Oklahoma. Then he got more action against Baylor, and then turned into a double-digit carry guy the rest of the season. They didn't overwork him, but in that 12 to 15 carry range for the rest of the year, culminated with 9 carries for 172 in the regular season finale against Kansas State with 3 touchdowns, and then against Colorado, 10 carries for 183 yards. So, Bijan Robinson is just has the potential to be a dynamic player, as you mentioned, in that 15 to 1,600 yard range. But I guess we're moving on to a guy that's already proven to be that guy.